What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to It's in the Blood, and this will be the first rendition of basketball for the 2025-2026 season. I'd like to welcome you to Indiana versus Louisville today. Our Hoosiers are coming in after a pretty rugged defeat the other night in Minnesota. Did not play up to expectations, but I think that is a defensive type of thing. When you go on the road in the Big Ten, these guys are a lot of mid-major kids coming in. I call this team the mid-major all-star team, what Darren DeVries has put together in his first season. And I felt like that was a wake-up call. Big test today. See how you respond against a team in the number 6 ranked Louisville Cardinals with a dynamic freshman on their roster. They have another guard on that team, Cromwell, which we tried to snatch up during the transfer portal era season, and we did not kind of lock that guy into place. I've got to get a couple things really ready to rock here before we go. Just finishing up, but game will be starting soon. Glad to have you guys back. Anybody that's in here right at the moment, I just got to make sure I get this set up the right way so I don't mess up, because I'm doing both of them. I ended up a little bit short on my screen today. I wonder how I did that. Don't have time to fix it. Oh, I do see how I did that. That's okay, though. This will still work. Just a little bit smaller for the 9x16 folks. Getting ready. This will be a test. I don't know how. This is going to be a true test for Indiana today. I really feel like this Louisville Cardinal team is put together better than most in the country right now, and we shall see. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And getting ready for it to tip off here in the near future. I did screw up a little bit on my graphics today. That'll be okay. What do you guys think today? This is a huge day for Indiana sports. We start out today with a non-conference matchup in Indianapolis here at roughly 2:30, playing a top-ranked team in the country right now. Louisville comes in at number 6. They had a defeat earlier this week too. Pat Kelsey in his second season there. They look like they are going to be a top team in the ACC, minus maybe Duke. Then you're going against, and then you're coming in tonight, and we shall be back here tonight for the Big Ten championship. IU, I love your support then as the Hoosiers take on the Buckeyes of Ohio State. It's not David versus Goliath anymore, but you know what? The talent pool at Ohio State is a little bit bigger than what we got here at Indiana. So it is an uphill challenge. We're going to have to play an extremely good game to beat Ryan Day and the Buckeyes tonight. But it is something that's going to have to happen sooner or later, and it's doable. And Coach Signetti is that guy. Back to this game here, which is getting ready to tip. Haven't called basketball yet this year, so cut me some slack. Yo, what up, what up, what up, Fundamental, my brother? Big day for the Hoosiers. Let's go. We will talk. Tip is up, pulled back away, fought for, retrieved by the Cardinals, out high, tipped away, loose ball, goes into the backcourt. Here we come back the other way. Defense out on the high side, rotates the ball to the left, looking around the pick at the top of the key, looking right. Indiana sticking tight on their men, looks, has it, resets the offense. Looking, nothing doing. Drives right, handoff, weave, goes inside, flips it inside for an easy layup. Two-man game there by Louisville. Gets the first basket of the day, and Louisville leads 2-0. Here comes Tatum Conaway up the right side. He is the guard that I think is the most ready for the Big Ten, and he has his pocket picked as I talk nicely about him. But he does block the shot. He will pick up the foul. Here's my deal. My deal is this. And I've said it during my football earlier this season, that I think this roster for a first-year roster is fine for DeVries. I just feel like it's a mid-major all-star team. And I think that the one thing the team really lacks is some toughness and maybe a little bit of size. I think Reed Bailey is going to be okay underneath, but this team looks a lot more finesse than it does rugged. Second free throw is no good. Louisville has a 3-0 lead. Rebound to Tucker DeVries. Here comes Conaway up the left side. Indiana did lose by 9 at Minnesota this week. They just couldn't get anything going. Very tough defense played there. Wilkerson has it on the left key, hands it off to Bailey at the top of the key, over to Conaway, off the pick, drops it to Bailey. Bailey drives the lane, throws it up off the glass. Good defense, missed. Here comes Louisville back the other way, charging up the left side, drives, gets inside the basket. Tucker DeVries is there. Good defense, offensive rebound, can't have that. Flips it out for three, in and out, no good. Ball is loose. Conaway comes up with the rebound. Indiana dodges a bullet right there. Conaway brings it up quickly, gets into his offense. Gets it over to Connor Enright on the right side. He'll reset. Gets it back over to Conaway on the left side. Nothing doing. He continually picking at him. That should have been an illegal screen. And Conaway's on the ground. Flips it inside. Turnover. Here comes Louisville back the other way. Flips it to the outside. 3-ball in transition. No good. Reaching. Wilkerson loses that. And I think it's going to go to Indiana. Yes, it does. One Puppet Master Blade in the chat. What up, Puppet? Good to see you, my friend. Ryan Cromwell was one of the guards that Indiana coveted during the transfer portal. Did not get him. He ended up in Louisville. Conaway is going to drive right side. He gets it off to Wilkerson, 4-3. And there's that illegal screen that I was telling you about. Tucker DeVries gets called for that. Although Wilkerson buried his first shot, which he has not done well lately. How was my Christmas? Christmas hasn't even got here yet, brother. Still working on it. Across the timeline, out high. Louisville has it out, looking very confident right now as they get into their offense, rotating it around, nothing doing. Back to the top of the key. Drives the lane, gets around. Oh, my gosh, what a dunk. Gets around Sam Alexis off the bench, and that is Ford with the slam dunk. He just went up. Maybe his name is Frew. Not sure. I don't know all the Louisville players just yet. Sam Alexis has it out high. Gets it over to Tucker DeVries. 4-3 from the corner. No good. And Alexis loses the rebound out of bounds. And this is what I'm talking about right here. Especially when rebounding, the strength is just not there for these guys. They are getting beaten by more physical players. And that was Frew. I'm sorry, not Ford. Gets it inside. Enright has it. Trapped down low. Gets it back out to Conaway, who resets. Looking for the pick out high. He is being dogged out there. Gets it to Alexis. Alexis is driving to the right. Nothing doing. Cut off. Hands it off to looking. Nobody's there. He's going to get a 5-second call. Yes, he is. Turnover, Indiana. I was very disappointed when the roster was set and we didn't have a big man on the roster aside from a freshman. They said did not expect to play much. Planned or couldn't get his guy. They tried. The kid from Minnesota was in there. He either ended up at A&M or Maryland. Can't remember which. There was a lot of black. I mean, I just felt like that there was not a lot of interest to come here this year for the big physical guys, and that's why we ended up with a very modest mid-major style of roster. Tucker DeVries and Sam Alexis coming over from Florida. He's a finesse player. He's a lot like Reed Bailey. They don't have the bruiser inside. But what I saw fundamentally, and you're even closer to the situation, is that Payne was the other guy I was thinking of, that there was just not a lot of love for Indiana for the big guy, and here we were last year complaining that we had too much meat inside, and now we don't have none. So that's going to be the talking point this year, I think. And that was an air ball by Conaway as the shot clock expired there. And so far today, Indiana's not looking very ready to go at all after a butt whipping in Minnesota the other night. Here comes Connor Enright out high, working on his guy, reaching, gets it down inside. They start their offense at the top of the key, rolls right, gets inside, flips it out to the corner for a long 3-ball. No good. Good rebound, but lost, not held on to Sam Alexis. And then out of frustration, you reach. Strength is an issue. You've got one or two guys on the starting lineup, Conaway and Tucker DeVries that are ready for this style of play. Trent Sisley checks in off the bench. Still 5-0 Louisville. Drives the lane, flips it out, nothing. Gets it, rotates on the weave on the left side, looking, drives inside on Tucker. Pushes him out of the way and scores the layup. Uses his body and balance to get in there and Tucker DeVries is one of the most solid guys on the team. That's got to be a foul in Louisville. Yes, it is. Reach in. Louisville is hounding our guards right now. But Ryan Conwell just ran over Tucker DeVries right there. It's about strength and physicality that we don't have right now, and that's why Reed Bailey's on the bench. There goes Sam Alexis, who's very smooth, but he is just – and there it is. Wilkerson is open for the 3-ball, and there's a rebound by Louisville. Here they come. They're going to push it up. Got to stop the bleeding. Got to play some defense here. Rolls it around right, looking. Nothing there. Out high. Drives the lane. Nope. Picks up his dribble. Right side, left. Drives inside. Goes to the lane. Puts it up. Nope. Backs out. 3-point ball. Good. 10-0. Indiana has got to find a way to score against these bigger, stronger players. Looking to get the ball to Sisley. Sisley has been a spark off the bench. Drives left. Gets down inside. Nothing there. Cut off. Alexis has it out high. Over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson's got to be dynamic. Drives right. Gets in the lane. All the way. Stripped. Clean. Here comes Louisville back the other way. Pushing. Up the middle. Conwell. That is a foul on Enright. But I want to say that it looked like Conwell just pushed him out of the way. Khalifa buries the triple. Yeah, this like I said, this team is more finesse than physical, right? And it's depicted upon it's a mid-major. Listen, Darren DeVries has not been, and I'm not criticizing just yet, just pointing out things. Darren DeVries came in with no roster. He had Trent Sisley that stayed, which was going to be a big piece for Indiana. Sisley's going to play an important role. But they were a mid-major, basically a team, a mid-major coach come in, and there's going to be a lot more developing this first year. You're going to see this team change drastically over the course of weeks because he has got to find a way to stay in these games with these teams that are highly touted. Louisville is a top 15 team no matter what. The point of it is that you've got to rebound, you've got to show physicality and strength inside, and right now they're being pushed around. Minnesota, not as much as Louisville is today, but Minnesota showed that the other day because they are built for the Big Ten a little bit more. That was a great showing by them. Indiana could not get shots off. This is the part where these guys are going to have to develop, learn, and adjust to major college basketball. Yeah, surprised, right? Surprised with the financial backing and NIL that Indiana has that they couldn't. And I'm not saying one guy. They needed. There's a couple that they needed. there's a couple guys that aren't playing much, and there's another Alexi Ristic is going to be ready to play soon enough too. I don't think he offers that same type of prowess, but basically they came in to play these teams like Marquette, right? Marquette is not they weren't super physical in that game. And we kind of dictated pace, and we kind of dictated tempo, and we just ran away with that. What has to happen for this Indiana team is that they've got to find a way to get separation and make jump shots. They're not going to start by pushing inside out. They've got to go outside in, and that's going to be the key. CareSource Invitational this year. By the way, this game was sold out today. I want to thank all the U of L and Indiana fans that are there. What a nice cause for a game. They did a great job of putting this thing together on a neutral court. Kudos watching Pat Kelsey and this Louisville Cardinal team so far, doing everything correctly. And this is where we're going to find out what kind of coach DeVries is. We're going to find out that if he can stop the bleeding and get his team settled into this game. Defensive intensity is going to be important, cutting off passing lanes. Staying in line as they rotated around to the edge, thinks about it, goes over, shoots the deep three, and hits it. I think they're going to give him 3 for that, but nice shot there by Louisville as Lamar Wilkerson goes flying by. He just uses a shot fake. Here comes Wilkerson to the right. Got to get going. Tucker DeVries drives the lane. Nothing. Cut off. Gives it back to Wilkerson. Gets inside. Drops it off to Alexis. Alexis is in a one-on-one inside. He's got to win this. No good. Gets it back. Goes up with the left. Goes up again. Louisville converges on the ball. Gets the rebound. Sam Alexis had 2 tries. Here comes Louisville back the other way. Flips it to the left. Looking. Had the shot. Didn't take it. Back again. Now he'll take it. 3 ball. Good. 16-0 as the McNeely buries 2 triples in a row. And this Hoosier team is in desperation mode already. Miracles do happen, and the tournament is all about guard play. We have the most experienced team in college basketball. And if they can get that from 3, they can beat. Yes. I think that's the point, right? You can't. It was really difficult to develop this roster this year. A lot of teams. There's several teams that did it. DeVries went for experience. You're correct. But a lot of the guys, there wasn't players from SEC schools or from the ACC. Really, it was all mid-major conference players, and he took a lot of their upperclassmen and stars, and just doesn't have the physicality right now, and that's what's going to come down. This looks like a tournament game where you've got the 15 seed that has dominated its league, but then comes in and plays somebody like an NC State. And I just came out of my top of my head. Alexis has it out high, looking for the backdoor cut. They're doing some rotation. Nick Dorn in. Wilkerson lets it fly. No good. Turnaround jump shot from top of the key. No good. Here comes Louisville looking to push. Louisville's made their last 4 field goals as they push it to the right. Drive inside. Gets over. Cuts off. Backed out. And another 3 ball. No good. And Connor Enright fights for the rebound. Does a nice job there of being physical, getting it strong. Here comes Wilkerson up to the lane. Alley-oop, Sam Alexis dunks it. Indiana's on the board after 16 straight by Louisville. Here comes Louisville back the other way, and Louisville's going to get called for the offensive foul. He ran over Connor Enright and is not happy about it, but it's a moving screen as he was not set. Back to the last play. Wilkerson drives the lane, and Alexis makes the cut. Nick Dorn has just came into the lineup, I was saying earlier, and he's another guy that might be able to provide some of that physicality. Enright gets the ball after the turnover. Here's the high pick. Louisville's gone to their bench as well. Here comes Wilkerson driving at the top of the lane, looking, Gets it to Tucker DeVries. DeVries is out high. Set the pick. Goes left. Looking. He gets the switch that he wants. Gets it over to Enright. Enright's got Alexis with the mismatch down low. They got to get it to him. Wilkerson launches from 25. No good. Rebound. Louisville ends up with it. Loose ball. Here they come on the fast break. Oh, he traveled. Whistle blows. Slid his pivot foot as they were trying to start the fast break. Big guy from Louisville, number 13, Frew, just isn't used to handling the ball. I love college basketball, Ringo. Just haven't had a chance to do any of the IU games yet, as timing's been horrible for me. I've been pretty busy. Indiana needs a bucket here in the worst way, 16-2. They want to get back-to-back buckets here, start a little bit of a run. DeVries from 25, open, buries it. Tucker DeVries with the great equalizer, which is the 3-ball, cuts this lead back to 11, and Indiana starting to find a little rhythm. Backdoor cut, turnover, back to Indiana. Let's go. Pass was led a little too far as Louisville went right to the rim. If you're in today, new to the channel, please smash those buttons, as I appreciate it. Game can be watched on CBS or Paramount Plus if you're streaming. Line it up with the audio and listen to me instead of those guys. I'm doing my best, Don Fisher. DeVries is open. Step back three. Another one. Buries another one. Tucker DeVries starting to get hot. 2 in a row for IU as they've cut the lead. They just gave the points to Louisville. It should be. And there's a charge on Louisville, and we're going back the other way. As Kelsey gets away from his first 5, the second 5 is not as dominant. And Indiana's cut this lead down to 8. 8-0 run for the Hoosiers. Let's see if they can keep it going. Here comes Enright. Double team comes looking, fires it up court, gets it across the timeline. DeVries has it. DeVries looking, he's wanting to shoot. Enright sets up the offense, gets it to Dorn. I'm sorry, that's Alexis. Alexis gets it back to DeVries. DeVries is being reached upon. Nothing there. Step back 3. Shoots it again. Hard off the back rim. No good. And that is a good rebound by Louisville on the loose ball. Here they come in fast break. Shoots the deep ball. McNeely short off the rim. No good. Dorn with the rebound. Here comes Indiana pushing it up. Wilkerson's got it on the left side. He traveled. No call. Back to Dorn for 3. Wide open. No good. Here comes Louisville. Frew has the rebound. He's going to bring it up again. Didn't learn from his last traveling mistake, I see, but going to give it a shot. Rotates it around. Handoff out high. Drives to the right, looking to get to the lane. Enright cuts him off. Frew for the deep 3. Hit it. 19-8, Louisville back up 11. Smack, here comes Wilkerson leading the point right now. That's kind of a new thing. Gets it across the timeline, and that's a reach. It's a bad pass, and Alexis is not physical enough. Back for 3. No good. Rebound, Dorn. And there's a foul going to be called where? Indiana trying to make a little bit of a run here to stay in this game. Tucker DeVries is fired up, but we're just struggling on the physicality side of this here, trying to maintain. And these are going to be the problems that we talk about all season long. Yeah, well, that's just it, right? As Indiana basketball fans, we are hungry for a dominant team to win a bunch of games. We're hungry for a team to be competitive in March. We want a team that's competitive and playing in March every single year. And are we on a path for that? I truly believe we are. However, there's a little bit of a few bumps in the road. And by the way, anybody that's in here now, come back tonight at 6:30 as we watch the Indiana play a historical game for them. First attempt at a Big Ten championship game since 1967 when they won it. But that was before the championship game era. this is going to be a colossal matchup of coaches that seem like they are on the top of their game. I listened to Ryan Day this week. I listened to Curt Cignetti. It's going to be one of those games. Do I think Ohio State's a little more talented than us? Yes. I think the only advantage that we may have is our defensive front messing with their redshirt freshman quarterback, Sam. If we can control the run and force him into some pressure situations where he has to throw the ball a little quicker than he would like, we might have an opportunity. Thank you, Ringo. But as far as everybody else in the Big Ten, nobody, Ohio State is the proverbial bad guy, right? Nobody wants to see the Buckeyes win unless you're a Buckeyes fan. Those are facts. That's just the way it is. Michigan fans despise the Buckeyes. Michigan gave it their best shot last week, but I think that freshman quarterback just wasn't ready for that game. No offense to Bryce Underwood for Michigan, but I just don't think that he was quite ready for that type of test. And that's what we're going to see on Fernando Mendoza. I feel like the defense in Iowa is very similar to what you're going to see. What you're going to see tonight, that defensive intensity that Iowa put on the field, very similar to Ohio State. But Ohio State has probably one of the most talented rosters, top to bottom. Their second and third string are dandies. So I'm kissing their butt right now because they're a good ball team. And they got, just like us, good skill position. They've got good everything. Here we go. Louisville's driving, working around. Nick Dorn looks good out there in a defensive position. Gets around Wilkerson. Bailey's back on the floor. Bailey's got to stand up, man up. He does. Good job. Rotates it to the left. Get in front of him. Puts the layup up. No good. Bailey clears the board. Gets it over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson's driving up the left. Wilkerson pulls up, looking for his shot. Not there. They know he's going to do it. Connerway resets. 19-8 Louisville. Here comes Bailey. Got the high pick. Gets the ball. Back to DeVries. DeVries is out here wide looking. Nobody's cutting to the basket. Bailey has it. Working around the perimeter. Gets it back to Bailey. He has it inside. Driving. Gets around the edge. Looking. Nothing. Over to Connerway. Fires. No good. Lost out of bounds to Indiana. Yeah, I haven't seen him yet. Fundamental. Is he injured? Is that why we've not seen him yet? Connerway has the ball on the wing, looking. Gets it back to DeVries. Open for three. Lets it go. And fouled on the three-point shot is Tucker DeVries. Chance to go to the line for three. Andrej Asimovich. I want to see one or two more guys. It's a shame that we lose Tucker after this year and couldn't put a little bit more meat in there with him. Because here's the problem, right? You stick Bailey in and make him play the 5 position just because he's 6'10". That's not and then you've got Sam Alexis, who's the same type of player that can alternate as a 4. You just don't have the 5, and you don't have the power forward. You've got more of a wing type of forward, a swing 4, if you will. DeVries makes the first 2 free throws, 19-10, 9:50 to go in the first half. Makes the third. Indiana's got it back down to 8 again. Since the start, Louisville's had 4 turnovers. They rotated around, thinks about the 3, drives the lane, flips it out, wide open 3 ball, no good. No rebounding, no Hoosier saw the ball. It actually hit the ground. Another 3 ball, put up, no good. And there's another offensive rebound, but that's got to be a foul on DeVries, and that is probably going to send him to the bench. I think that might be his third. Once again, yep, here comes Sisley Probably the only guy on Indiana that can replace DeVries right now, as he is a very physical player for a freshman. He's got enough height and girth to kind of play out there. We'll see how he does. This will be a tough time. There is another moving screen on Frew. That'll be his second foul. Might help Indiana if their strength has to go to the bench with and get a little less physical player. He didn't even know he was setting a screen. He just dropped his ass into Enright. 5 turnovers apiece in the first 10 minutes. Both coaches are not going to be happy with that. But it does say something about the intensity that's being played with today. And I take that back. DeVries is still on the floor. Sicily drives. Bailey drives. I would be going right at Frew. That is who I'd be going at. DeVries to Wilkerson on the wing. Nothing. Wilkerson's going to pull up and shoot it. Lets it rip and good. Lamar Wilkerson with his first 3 ball. And the equalizer is the triple, and they're down by 5. Louisville pulls up for a quick 3, and he buries it, matches it. Back to 8. Conwell, whom I really wanted out of the transfer portal. Wish he would have come to Indiana. 22-14. 8:39 to go here in the first half. Enright drives the lane, gets inside, puts up the layup, and he makes it. Connor Enright gets a nice pick from Tucker DeVries and scores. Here comes Louisville trying to speed up the pace. Drives it on the lane, gets down inside. Trapped, throws it out, caught. Drives the lane, gets inside, flips it out for another 3 chance. Nothing. As Indiana closes out very well. Driving on DeVries. Can't foul. Puts it up and in. 24-16 lead is back to 8. Here comes DeVries running the point at this point in time. Enright sets the high pick, rolls off, gets the ball. Drives right, nothing. Lazy pass, picked up by DeVries, rotates it around. Wilkerson's open again. Short off the front iron, no good. Here comes Louisville. Chance to get back up by double digits. Louisville brings across the timeline, drives left, runs their weave. Wilkerson's fighting through screens, drives on the baseline. Stripped. Here comes Sicily, gets the ball. Enright's got it. Back over to DeVries. DeVries crosses the timeline, pulls up from way downtown. No good. Rebound to Louisville. Here they come. Tucker DeVries was feeling it from 28. Step back 3. Another one goes down for Conwell as Louisville is absolutely burying their shots as well. Here comes Enright looking, nothing there. And they're screaming for the hook. Looked like Enright had his arm around him hooked. Conwell is just too much ball player for Enright to guard. It's a mismatch. You're putting an athletic small forward body type against a small point guard. Let's see. I don't like that coach lets Tucker play the point. The guy looks like he eats 5 meals a day and turns it over with sloppy passing. Yeah, I mean, that's got to get cleaned up here, right? Why is my screen not updating? I'm sorry, but my scoreboard got locked up there. 27-16. Yeah, it's definitely a process. And the thing of it, you go back to saying is that, if Indiana could have done something to keep one, they should have really worked harder at some of what was already there. I know a lot of us were glad to see some of those guys gone. But I still think Mbako would have been worth saving for this year. Would have fit in very nicely to what DeVries is trying to do. He would have been a good save. I just think that there had to be somebody out there that was, and it doesn't have to be a superstar. You don't have to go out. You don't have to make huge splashes. Just get guys that can play a role. And you needed somebody to be a banger. So far in the game summary today, DeVries and Conwell both leading their respected rosters, 9 points each. Louisville has been a little bit more efficient with the basketball. Their 6 assists. But I still got to tell you that from the start of this game, Louisville came out, playing their normal intensity, a little fired up, and they built that early lead. I don't know if you can overcome that 16-point lead. It's going to be really tough. You got to find a way to stop Conwell right now. Scored 6 of the last 8 for Louisville, and he is absolutely taking command at that 2-guard position. Where in the F's Colin at today? My resident Cardinals fan. Where are you at, Colin? Gets the give and go to Wilkerson, and he goes in and he slams it. Reed Bailey to Wilkerson in the big dunk, 9-point lead. Here comes Louisville the other way. Wilkerson with the strip. Doesn't get the turnover, rotates it around, loses it, picks it back up. Louisville a little bit antsy with their play. Drives the lane, nothing there. That's goaltending. Nobody protecting the rim. Wilkerson inbounds to Bailey, and Bailey makes a great pass on the cut. And he beats Conwell, which is very huge. And there is almost a turnover. DeVries gets it to Wilkerson. They cross the timeline. Louisville's still up 11. Gets it over. There goes Enright. Drives the lane. Gets it over. Tip pass over to Sisley, who gets inside. Goes in. Puts it up. And one. That's going to be, yes. Trent Sisley's going to get the basket. Uses the ball fake and a spin move to get a layup. Draws a foul. Trent Sisley looking a little bit more mature than a freshman on this move. Draws contact. Keeps position. Rotates to the rim. It's all good. You know what? It's gonna get fixed. You've got to believe that this administration at Indiana is going to make sure. Hard off the back rim, no good. Wilkerson or Nick Dorn sneaks in for the offensive rebound, and he gets trapped on the baseline with nothing to do. Here comes Louisville on the fast break, blocked. Oh, I don't know that there was a foul there. They're gonna get Sisley with the foul, but Wilkerson trailed the play and blocked it as Louisville is still up by 9. Back to what I was just saying is that Indiana is committed to getting both sports back to where they need to be. 2 shots coming for Louisville. The free throw line. The free throw line killed Indiana Wednesday night. They started the second half missing 4 out of their first 5 free throws. 4 points added to that total. Would have made that a lot closer game at the end. Rogers with the second one. Both are good. Louisville back up 11. Connerway's coming up. Got to win these games physically. Go. Gets around the guy, drives left, gets cut off. Drives right. Looking. And there's bodies flying everywhere. Conwell drives the lane. Connerway puts it up. No good. And that is going to be on. They're going to call Sam Alexis with the foul. Doesn't agree with it. As he goes over the back and tries to put it in, they're just saying Louisville number 7 had position and he went over his back to make that play. And Louisville is back to the free throw line as both teams are in the bonus for the rest of the half. Free throw is no good. Sisley clears the rebound. Here comes Connerway. Driving across the timeline. They are putting different bodies on him. Gets it over to DeVries. DeVries is on the right wing. Cross court, skip pass. Sicily drives, gets cut off, double team comes, and is stripped and knocked out of bounds. So Louisville is going to the trap on the baseline. Keep that in mind. They are selling out and going to the trap when they get anywhere near the block. Gets it out to DeVries. DeVries comes off the pick, hands it off to Alexis, who goes up, and no good, too strong. Here comes Louisville the other way, and Wilkerson's called for the blocking foul as he was not in the way enough. He was more of a sidestep, and Conwell ran through him. Wasn't direct contact. It was more of angled contact. He didn't really go straight through him. He was going around him, so they're not going to give him the charge for that. But here we go. 2 shots for Conwell, who's been absolutely a beast today. (32-20). I think Indiana needs to go on a run. Let's call after this free throw. We need to win the last 5 minutes. Let's see how we do. Lead is back up to 13, 33-25, 30 left to go in the half. Inbound, Conway is going to bring it up, and he's using his strength, and he's getting pushed a little bit. The double team comes. There goes Alexis to the rim. Gets it off. No, doesn't pass it. Hands it off to Conway on the baseline, and that is going to be called a block too. And both could be. That was more direct contact, but they're going to call that a block as well as he slid over a little bit late. Indiana's got to make free throws. Yo, okay, what's up? Yes, I will be here tonight. First free throw is up and good for Conway. 12-point lead. Second free throw is up. Off the rim, no good. Can't go 1 for 2. You got to get them all. 12-point lead for Louisville. Driving, puts it up, and just goes to town and misses the shot. Here comes Conway back the other way. Needs some transition. Sicily has it, rotates it back. Here comes DeVries. Got it. Corner, Sicily, 3. No good. Here comes Louisville with McNeely back the other way. Showed his shooting skills off earlier. No good. Back to McNeely. Looks to shoot it. Conway cuts him off. Starts his dribble. Looks to hit the post. Wilkerson's down there. Wilkerson's in defense. Drives on Wilkerson. And double team comes. Deep 3 ball. No good. Air ball. That will go back to Indiana. Pretty nice defensive stance there. Did not close out on the shooter great. But that guy probably shouldn't have been putting up threes. And Frew immediately comes back in the game. Well, let's see. The top basketball player has to be Tucker DeVries because he would be an All-American. But as far as Wilkerson and Conway are going to be the most important. Sam Alexis gets around the give and go, drives the lane, puts it up. No good. He is just outmanned here today. Here comes Louisville back the other direction, looking, drives. Picks up his dribble, rotates it back to McNeely at the top of the key. McNeely has Sicily on him, goes off the pick. Deep 3, no good. Tucker DeVries gets inside for a big rebound. That was strong. Coming back the other way. You're going to rotate left, looking. He wants to shoot it. Nothing there. Works his man down. Nothing. Over to Enright. Enright drives. Over to the wing. Alexis, Sicily's got it. Drives out back to the top of the key. 13 on the shot clock. Gets it to Wilkerson in the lane. No good. And there goes Alexis for the rebound and puts it up and in. Sam Alexis gets the offensive glass and scores. Here comes Louisville back the other way, driving. Top of the key left. No good. Rotates it to the top. Frew has it there. Looking over on the right wing. Good pick. Gets him open. Shoots a 3. Hits it. Louisville answers back immediately. Up 13. 36-23. Here comes Enright. There was some on the inbound pass. DeVries has it. Shoots it. No good. Tucker DeVries was open. Wasn't the best looking shot. Here comes Louisville. Chance to extend. Frew drives on DeVries. DeVries mans up. puts a little strength there. No good. And they're going to call Tucker DeVries for the foul there. And that is absolutely absurd. As I didn't see nothing. I'd like to see a different angle. Yeah, Tucker only had 9 at Minnesota. Minnesota did an incredible job of doing, and this is what everybody's going to do this year, of taking away 3-point shooting lanes. And what I mean by that is everything that they guarded was sold out, overplaying the 3-ball. If Indiana could have found a way to work the inside out, they would have had a much better opportunity at Minnesota, but they don't have a true post player. Let's be honest. I like Enright, but if Enright does not play against somebody that is his caliber, he's not as effective. He is very pesky. He is very, but if you're bigger or stronger and you just play consistently and don't let him get to you, you can dominate that matchup. Yes. But I like the fact that he's looking to get other people involved. But the problem with Enright is the setup. He's not let to play point guard. He's playing as a 2 guard, and that's not what he is. He's not running the point. He's not setting the offense. That's where we got to have that production. If he's going to be out there, he's got to be out there as a point guard. Or you got to sit him down and do and keep letting Conaway run it. Well, he's a good 3-point shooter, but he only shoots the ball when he's incredibly wide open. So he is not one to force that issue. He has a true point guard mentality. He's just, if he's going to play point in the Big Ten, there's going to be some guys that are going to be 6'5", 6'6", playing point that are 215, 220, look like they're built like wide receivers, in the NFL or DBs, and he's got to deal with that. And his physicality is not quite there. But that's, to me, that's the only problem with this team is lack of a physical 4 and a 5. So 2 guys that can play physical basketball and a little bit small at guard when you got Enright on the floor. But you got Conaway and DeVries both on the bench right now. DeVries has got 3 fouls. He's done until the start of the second half, and he's got to play error-free. And that means that Reed Bailey's got to step up inside. He has got to play more athletic. He has got to play more physical, and he has got to keep people out of that paint. Free throw short off the rim, no good. 3 minutes to go, 13-point lead. I would like to see Indiana get this to less than 10. If Louisville extends back to 16, back to 14, makes the free throw. Enright's got it. He's got the point. Clear out, let him bring the ball up the floor. Enright brings it up the right side, cuts to the middle, nothing there, looking. Gets it, that errant pass right there as Wilkerson gets hit on his cut, puts the layup up, no good. And there is Enright with the rebound, coming back the other way, 3-on-2, gets it up. It's not a very nice pass by Enright, but gets it back to Bailey for the layup. Enright starting to get in the game a little bit more, trying to be a little too cute with the alley-oop there. Nothing happening. Double team, flips it up, no good. Indiana ball. Oh, no! Oh, no! They're going to bail a bad pass by Louisville out with a foul on Trent Sisley. Free throw is good. Conaway coming back into the game right now. (38-25), 13-point lead. Second free throw is up, short off the front rim, no good. Nobody wanted the rebound there. Bailey was blocking out, wasn't even watching the ball, but he does come away with it after it bounces on the ground. There goes Enright working to the right, gets it to Wilkerson, drives the lane, step back, nothing. Cut off, very nice defense by Louisville. Looking, feeds it back out. Sisley gets it out high. Over to Conaway, 9 on the shot clock. Got to create something now. No offenses work. Double teams there. Drives the lane, gets it stolen from him. Louisville retains possession. Here they go. 13-point lead. Had a chance. Conwell decides to pull it back and not shoot the triple. Gets it to Frew at the top of the key. Frew's got it. Working around. Wilkerson has done a pretty nice job on Conwell. We'll give him some defensive credit. Drives the lane, no good. Frew just over Bailey. Stolen by Enright. Here comes Sisley the other way, driving. And lays it up and in. Trent Sisley goes 1-on-3, cuts the lead back to 11 for Indiana. And they are back in position with 1:12 to go. Stop, score. Got to get a stop right here. Chance to bring this thing under 10 if you do. Deep three, up and good. Equalizer, baby. Every time you get momentum, somebody hits a three, your heart sinks a step. 41-27, 54 seconds to go. You got to get a 2-for-1 here, Indiana. You got to get 2 possessions. You got to play it like the NBA. 45 seconds, 18 on the shot clock. Bailey has it out high. Conaway drives left, nothing. Gets it over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson's high, drives the lane, gets inside. Flips it out. Enright will fire the 3-ball, no good. Louisville's got a chance. They can hold it for one shot. Didn't get the shot off quick enough. Louisville can take this into the locker room with, at worst, a 14-point lead. My word. Doesn't it kind of feel like Sisley will be the one to get us the 6th banner? That's really awesome. Kind of like the one guy from Indiana that in recruiting that comes to Indiana, even during a coaching change, decides to say, I think he's going to be a crowd favorite for a couple years for sure. But you know what? They have got to make sure he's comfortable there and he doesn't leave for sure. And there's a couple of things today that we got to talk about at halftime, which is going on the board right now. But Lamar Wilkerson has not played great. This is a transition. And Mikael Brown for Louisville, their number 1 freshman, has been held scoreless in this half. So kudos there. Ryan Conwell has done a masterful job. I bet DeVries is really wishing he could have got him from the portal now, the way he sees him playing in this game. Dominant guard play. 20 seconds to go. Wilkerson's on Conwell. Wilkerson's out tight, trying to get the pick. Wilkerson's great with his hands. They get it to Brown. Brown on Enright. 10 seconds to go. They're going to try to get Mikael Brown a shot here. Drives the lane. Puts it up. No good. Picked away. Here comes Bailey. Enright from 3/4 court. Oh, off the back of the rim. No good. 16-0's where it starts. 41-27's where it ends up. Take away that beginning of this game, and you got Louisville with a 2-point lead. Yeah, so Trent Sisley this year has shown that he can handle the basketball. He doesn't make too many mistakes. And when asked upon, he can really let it fly from deep. And he has like that vibe that he can provide a spark, right? Is it rare anymore that a freshman comes in and just is that guy dominant totally? It's very rare. But a superstar will start out like this, just picking his spots, making his choices, and getting a few good shots off and doing very well in that aspect of it. And there, in that case, Trent Sisley has been an ideal freshman. And he's the only freshman in this recruiting class. Now, as a Hoosier fan, I hate to tell you that this year we're looking at a very up and down season. And what I mean by that is that I don't think we're just going to roll over anybody in the Big Ten. We're not going to be good enough to beat a lot of the top echelon teams unless we shoot lights out and unless we shoot a lot of three balls. But you've got to watch the development as far as the future roster goes. Recruiting is going to be huge. Transfer portal. Right now, if I'm looking at Indiana's 26, 27 transfer portal, I'm looking for big guys to play the 4 strong power forward position. I don't want to swing forward at this point because I got plenty of them, but I need somebody to play the power forward, and I would look for one center to play, a good power role. So where your power forward could come in and back up the center a little bit too. So if you really don't want to go with that type of game plan where you got 2 bruisers out there, you got at least one at a time. But I hated saying it. Yeah, 7-foot center, please. Well, you know what? I mean, I sat there today and watched Purdue get annihilated at home. And it goes to show you that college basketball truly is anybody can be beat at any point in time. But Iowa State has a very well balanced approach. They attack it well, and Purdue was playing a little bit above the expectations of what we had for them. I figured Purdue's a top 15 team. I didn't figure that they were a number 1 team. But they're maintaining their roster by recruiting, and that's where I want us to be. Yeah, so I mean, in all honesty, though, going forward, I don't expect to win this game today against Louisville right now. I didn't expect it this morning, honestly. I wanted to come in here and just kind of maybe calm people down a little bit and just let them realize that, we're not built for this game just yet. Experience is going to play a part in that. These guys are going to get used to playing these physical games, right? The game against Minnesota, the game coming up against Kentucky, Penn State, I think is the other. Those games are going to be played very, very physical. And I think that's going to be these guys' opportunity to learn how to adjust to play in that environment, right? So they got pushed around the first 10 minutes of this half, or maybe the first 5 and the last 5. The middle 10, they played okay. But they've got to learn how to not let a bad start go to 16-0. They've got to learn how to be physical, not foul, and just be a presence out there. And hopefully there's a couple guys on this roster that can do that can help stabilize it. It's just a very finesse-laden team right now. I like Sam Alexis, very athletic, but very finesse-based. And if you push on him, he's not quite there yet. I like Reed Bailey. Reed Bailey is smooth, but he's very athletic and very finesse. I want somebody to punch you in the mouth and go up there and get a layup or a dunk or knock you out of the way and get a rebound. But we're still and then Enright's really good too. But you said that we got to have somebody. Enright's got to adjust to this style of gameplay. We're a mid-major team. We're a mid-major roster in big boy basketball league. Does that make Iowa State number one? No, but I do think that makes Iowa State a top 5 team right now. I can't think of a tougher place to win in early December than at Purdue. They don't usually lose games at home this early in the year. It usually takes a Big Ten opponent to get them down at home. But I will tell you this, as much as I may not say that makes them number one, but I'm going to tell you that is going to be a resume win, right? When it comes time for the committee, when they're selecting where Iowa State belongs, are they a 2 seed? Are they a 3 seed? Are they a 1 seed? That win right there may, in fact, get them a better seeding and or raise them on the 2 or the 1 scale at the end of the year if they play well, and get them a better draw for the bracket. Yeah. And you know what? You're just in a fundamental. I agree, and I'll read it for those that can't. I tried to convince myself this is how he wanted to build his start. Small team, nobody's going to have to be tough as nails to compete, laying the foundation. Yeah, so work ethic and stuff like that is going to be real important. But the thing is that when they were out there and they were competing in the transfer portal, there was not a lot of interest from major conferences, guys that played for other major conferences, because at this point in time, other than the financial implications of coming to Indiana, what your NIL deal look like, Indiana doesn't look like a place that you can win. Transfer portal is for bettering your situation for both financial and winning. So you want to be seen. And a lot of these guys that said no, that ended up in places like Maryland, Texas A&M, Miami, University, other places like that, they went for a chance to win and get paid. It's just one of those things that, now granted, Lamar Wilkerson come out of Sam Houston State, the SWAC. And here's the deal. Did you guys read that Lamar Wilkerson donated some of his NIL deal back to was it Sam Houston State for providing him the means to get to this point in his career? Kudos to that young man. So, I mean, we're still back to this thing. I mean, Sam Alexis was, he's a national champion at Florida, but he didn't play much. And did you watch the game with Purdue and Iowa State? Purdue looked like they were on their heels the whole time. They did not look very ready to rock in that game. Iowa State just did what they wanted. But that is a very dominant game. And to go into Mackey and win like that, Milan Momcilovic. Momcilovic. Those are some stats. ACC is insanely good this year. Duke beat Michigan State, by the way, if you didn't know. I did not know. I didn't see it go across the scoreboard, but congratulations, Adam. That's a quality win. Right. Oh, I'm getting ready to see it right now. And it's in East Lansing. Very good. I wasn't sure how this one would turn out, but it looks like, Duke played tight with them, hung in there, and it looks like at the end they're going to find a way to get the dub. Let's see how it turns out. Low scoring game. And then puts it away with another 3-ball. Looky there. John Shire beats the man in his home. Good job there. Cameron Boozer, another quality recruit or draft shoot. Quality high school recruit. And Duke makes their point for being up there. Winning at Michigan State is huge. Wilkerson chose us over Kentucky. I hope his role and the team's success doesn't leaving him regretting that decision. Well, I'm not saying a lot of bad about Kentucky right now, but Kentucky is in the same spot we're in. They're playing basketball a lot like we're playing basketball, and that's to finesse. Those are my words this year, to finesse. You're going to hear me say that a lot. If we start playing tough, I'll change it. But right now we play to finesse. Duke is a top 5 team this year, and they should be ranked accordingly. I do think come tomorrow, I think Arizona will be on top of the college football world or college basketball world. But teams like Duke, Iowa State are going to be really close behind. My friends and I were talking about how we thought he is like Rick Carlisle and built a team like the Indiana Pacers roster. Yeah, they're and we'll just use Boozer as an example from Duke. There's only so many big guys out there that possess the strength and athleticism to be that type of guy. And if you can nail one of those guys, you can have a chance. And Boozer was a no doubt recruit for Duke. There wasn't like there was any way he was going anywhere else for his one and done. However, but that history there, and continued growing upon that history from changing of head coaches, makes that a definite. Yeah, and you know what? That I'll just read it because all fast-paced, run and gun, no post play. They believe it's a thing of the past, in my opinion. And it's designed to be that way. That's what they want to see, college basketball become. They want to see college basketball become the baby NBA. But with a long shot clock and the half court offense still being a viable option to win games, you've got to have the best of both worlds. You got to have the length and athleticism to play fast paced, but you also got to have strength and good post play to play in the half court. Whereas if you need to slow the game down and keep a team out of going fast paced, you got to be able to do that. So there's never going to be a time in which that guy is not needed. You're always going to need that post player. You got to have one. Robbie Hummel stepping up for CBS today. That's kind of different. And if he's been over there before, I just didn't know it. Statistics wise, we're not going to go through those today. But Indiana 3 from 16 from behind the arc. That's a recipe for disaster. 14 points in the paint. They did a nice job of getting some scoring. Just look how Louisville's defense has affected the post play. Just watch how, very few opportunities of scoring down there. Sam Alexis just got out-muscled. All right, we need a 16-0 run to start this second half. Let's get this game evened up. And I know 14 would do it, but let's match what they did in the first half. Their second half is underway. Connor Wade crosses the timeline. He's going to drive. He's going to work his way all the way to the rim. And the ball's knocked away. No travel, no foul. Louisville's got it. They rotated around. Not the way they wanted to start. Deep three ball. Short off the front rim, no good. And it's kicked out of bounds by Frew as Enright was blocking out their center. Let's see what happened there. Oh, they're not going to show it. Oh, Frew just took the ball away a minute ago. Here comes Connor Way up the right-hand side. He's looking, working it, crosses the timeline, gets it to Enright, back to Connor Way, drives, runs into a screen, nothing there. Gets it, bad pass. DeVries saves him from it. Gets it to Enright, open three ball, looks good. Rhythm, no. And Louisville gets another defensive rebound. Here they come on the push. He just pushes Wilkerson out of the way. Nothing there. Drives. Brown has it. Enright's done a really nice job on Brown. Frew, step back three. No good. Hard off the back rim. No good. And it's tipped around. And who's going to get it? But Frew comes up with the ball. And that's going to go on DeVries right there. That foul is probably going to go on DeVries, and if it is, it's his fourth. They're going to call it on Enright. That could have easily been on Tucker DeVries in his fourth. Louisville's lead is up over 16.
This is the new fancy E2 Ultra electric screwdriver, and not only does it have 3 times the power, but it's only a couple dollars more right now on the Super Brand Day sale. And with the new upgraded revolver case, it's even easier.
Looks like DeVries drew a foul there. Sorry, it was my work was bothering me on my phone. Big free throws are going to be important here in the second half as DeVries buries the first one. Knocks it back to 16 down, 44-28. Here we go. 15-point edge at this point. Louisville brings it across the timeline, hits Frew at the top of the key, rotates it back around left, thinks about the shot. Brown drives the lane, puts it up, no good. And DeVries clears it. Enright and DeVries defends Brown very well there. Nothing for him. Wilkerson thinks about the deep three, pulls it down, drives on Brown, gets inside the lane, up to the basket, puts it up. And they're going to call him for a travel as his pivot foot slid. Turnover, Indiana. And Brown just runs over Enright. Nothing called there. Bailey is out high on Frew. McNeely drops the pass, gets inside, looking cut off there. Nice job by Bailey. Good help defense there for Indiana. Drive, step back, three ball, or Conwell, no good. DeVries clears the rebound, starts the break, pushing it up. One-on-one, all the way to the basket, and he's going to get called with a block. Tucker DeVries drops his shoulder, lays it right into him, but it's going to be called a block. Could have easily been charged as a three or a charge. Just wasn't there fast enough. DeVries at the free throw line. Free throws up and good. The best thing you want to see. Yeah, did you see him? I seen him lower the shoulder, then extend the arm. Oh, Connerway with the rebound on the missed free throw, and it ends up being a three-point play as Indiana's down 12. Here comes Brown across the Louisville across the timeline. McNeely, deep three, buried it. Somebody's got to put a hand in that boy's face. What a momentum-breaking player he is. DeVries got it out high, drives the lane, gets inside, puts it up, draws contact, no good. That is how you get called. You get contact in a foul, and they didn't give it to him. McNeely gets his pocket picked. Here comes Connerway up for the dunk. Doesn't do showboating. And I think Enright's going to get warning here for touching the ball. Indiana's cut it to 13. Drives around, gets all the way to the baseline, nothing there. Rotates it out. Deep three, no good. Fight for the rebound. Everybody scrapping inside. Puts it back out, resets. Louisville gets the offensive glass. Drives left, looks right, working on Wilkerson. Nothing there. Frew, hands off to McNeely. Fires, short, no good. Rebound comes out, and it's going to be Indiana basketball. I believe off of number 11. Enright is down on the ground. I'm not sure who they gave possession to here. They give it to Indiana. Here comes Connerway across the timeline. Connerway is going to goes all the way to the basket. Nobody's there. He draws the foul. I've been so impressed with Connerway's physicality this year. And then today, he looks just like another one of the guys, as Conwell is the most physical player that I've seen at the two-guard position in a while. But he goes to the bench now with 3 fouls. Gets it into Enright. Enright's out high. Gets it to Wilkerson. Drives. Gets inside. Drops it down to Bailey. Lays it up and in. Wilkerson gets a dime. Bailey gets a layup. Let's get them guys involved. Here comes Louisville across the timeline. They've got it at the top of the key, working on Bailey. Hands it off. Nothing there. That's travel. That's a travel. That's either a travel or a jump ball. Okay. Enright's getting fired up. Gets the jump ball call. Could have been a travel as Rogers' pivot foot moved. Enright's got some testosterone flowing today. He's pumped. He's going to have to be a far more physical player for this team to be dynamic. Learning on the fly. Rotates it in, and Enright gets beat for the layup. No help under the goal. Louisville gets an easy 2, 49-36. Louisville is giving up the paint, and they're not letting them shoot threes. That is the point of emphasis in this game. DeVries is open for one, though. Lets it fly. Short off the front rim, but gets a friendly hop. 39-49. Indiana cuts it back to 10. 15-23 to go. Here comes Louisville back the other way. Rotates it around. They love running it from their big at the top of the key. McNeely forces it down to the corner of the Rogers. Got a big matchup on the block right now. Nothing there. Step back. Nothing. Flips it out across court. DeVries is in tow. We're stripped. And stripped again. Turns around. Nothing. Flips it cross court. Rogers is so open, it's not even funny. As two Indiana players were laying in the middle of the floor down. Don't know what that was about. As they got their feet crossed, back up to a 12, 13-point lead. Drives the lane. Conaway gets inside. It hits off the rim. And it's going to be a defensive foul on Rogers as Conaway is pushing his physicality as he attacks the glass. Man, I'm telling you, something is going on here. I've got to tell you, as much as the first 10 minutes of this game, I was crapping on Indiana's physical play. They have stepped up since. Telling you what, here we go as we're going to finish this game up. This first 5 minutes has been super physical here in the second half. A lot of fouls being called. A lot of things just going very tightly. So these games in December, let's keep that in perspective. They are good for us. As a team that doesn't know how to play that physical, you don't know it until it's been dumped upon you, and you would rather learn in early December as opposed to learning in January by taking multiple Big Ten losses. Win or lose today, I suspect that we shall bounce back in our next Big Ten game. I think it's before we play Kentucky. And I think the Kentucky game is very suited for us as well. I think it'll be on the road, and we'll probably not we will not be able to go in there and do what we did to Marquette, but we should have an opportunity to go in there and play well. They're showing this AI model, showing how the game's laying out. That McNeely kid is something else. I like the way he just lets it fly. Isaac McNeely with 9 points today, 3 for 6 from the three-point line. Just killing it. He has been a backbreaker for IU every time it feels like we make a momentum shift. He's that guy that's out there coming back with the dagger. All right, Indiana's down 13, 14:41 to go. Have to be under 10, less than 10. That's the goal. Wilkerson on the inbound, 3 ball, no good. Short off the front iron. Here comes Louisville. Just Wilkerson struggled a little bit. He's got to get it built back up. Needs an easy basket to get him in rhythm. Conwell's done a great job. Brown fires it from the outside. Another nice job has been done on Brown today. Here comes Enright, hands it off to Wilkerson. Wilkerson drives, gets inside. Off the glass, he makes it. After possession was knocked away, Wilkerson cuts it to 11. Inside, goes all the way hoop, no good. And there is Alexis with the rebound. Here comes Enright, looking for somebody on the pull-up, gets it off. Oh, and Conway had the shot, decided not to take it. Flips it over to Alexis. Alexis is there, hands it to Enright. Enright back to Alexis, to the rim. Nothing. He's cut off. Uses his dribble now. Inside, flips it back out. Wilkerson fires 25. Money. Lamar Wilkerson cuts the lead back to 8. And Indiana's in business with 13-36 to go in the game. Here comes Louisville back the other way, working it out high. And we have a stoppage in play as Louisville takes a timeout. 52-44. Indiana making a small run here. And I think wants to stop this momentum right now so that he can get his guys a good offensive shot and possession. This is a coaching move right here. This is a coach's timeout, trying to get his boys ready for the next play so that they don't manically just throw up the first open three-pointer. He's going to work the clock to get a good shot. Definitely looking forward to anybody coming back tonight, hanging out for the Big Ten championship as Indiana faces off against Ohio State, who's technically the juggernaut in college football, defending national champions. Haven't lost a game since Michigan of last year. These guys are hungry still, but our Hoosiers are a year better and a year stronger and hopefully a little bit more well-equipped to handle the big game with Ohio State. If we can play some defense on and control that line of scrimmage on the defensive side and make that young quarterback have to work, I think we got an opportunity because I think our DBs can match up with those receivers. You guys talking about Duke sneaking into the ACC championship today in football, man, tell me that conference isn't crazy. But the one thing Duke has an opportunity to do today is ruin it for any other ACC team. That is what their main goal is today. I'm not keeping up with any football scores right now, so I apologize. I don't know if that game's going on just yet, but the Duke-Virginia game is got the opportunity to prevent any ACC team from making it into the I think they can do that. I'm not sure. If Duke was to win today, I think it prevents any ACC team from being in the playoff. Those of you that are stopping by, swinging through on the vertical feed, smash the like button. If you're a sports fan, college, NFL, we're Hoosier fans here, or at least I am, but I have a contingent of fans from everywhere. We're also NFL fans, even though the NFL this year is turning into, I got some comments about that, it's turning into a league that I'm not happy with. But we love the NFL as well. And sometimes an elusive Alex will show up and we'll have the full team intact. It's big boy playtime. This is what divides guys that's going to be high school coaches from NBA players. And that's where we're at right now. These guys are working. Brown's out on Enright. Fires it inside. No good. Indiana basketball turnover. Brown was trying to throw an alley-oop to Frew, and there was no way. There is nothing there. Here we go back the other direction. The ball just went out of bounds. Bad throw. Handoff. Here comes Wilkerson out high looking. Gets it over to Sam Alexis. Alexis is over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson drives. Gets in the lane. Looking. Nothing. Clears out. Back to Enright. Or over to Wilkerson for three. No. Short off the front rim. No good. Cleared by Louisville. Coming back the other way. Working on Tucker DeVries, nothing there. Gets it off to McNeely. McNeely comes off the pick, drives the lane, flips it out for a 3-ball. Conwell hit it. That is how you get open when you can't get open shots. Penetration across the lane and then flip back. Lead is back to 11. Back out to DeVries. DeVries has got it. U of L has used the 3-ball as a silencing tool today. Get it to Wilkerson, who goes to the lane, up and in. No foul called as there was contact. Wilkerson with the layup, gets back on defense. Conwell's driving, looking, another 3-ball, same spot. No good. Foul on Indiana. Wilkerson drove. It looks like he drew a foul, but no foul was called. Frew hit him. Maybe not. He stayed vertical. Is there 3 fouls on that? Oh, my God. Somebody fouled Conwell on that 3-ball. Kelsey is fired up over there. He's got the look of disbelief in his eyes more than any coach I've ever seen when he is arguing with an official. Everybody talks about Mikael Brown. I'm talking about Ryan Conwell. Might be the best guard that Louisville has, bar none. Louisville increases it back to 12. Indiana has, every time they have an answer, so does Louisville. Louisville does not bend very well. Enright drives right, nothing. Looking, gets it off to DeVries. DeVries gets the baseline, nothing there, cut off. Drives, gets inside. Oh, and makes a bad pass as Alexis cuts to the basket, and that is a turnover by Tucker DeVries as he drove the lane, got in good position, did not make the best choice. .12 lead, and we go to the under 12 timeout. Let's see what we got going on this morning here. Let's see. Oh, no, Duke and Virginia are tonight. Alabama and Georgia are at 4. Indiana, Ohio State is at 8. Oh, they changed the time. I thought that game was at 6:30. Shoot. Texas Tech dominates BYU, secures their spot and bye probably in the playoff. Congratulations, Texas Tech. And wisely, they extended their coach earlier this week. Penn State hires Iowa State's Matt Campbell to an 8-year deal. Ooh. That's not what I expected there. As we get ready to go back to action here. Ohio State is a 4-point favorite tonight against Indiana. Should be a dandy. I don't know about being a betting man, but I ain't betting it. Oh, by the way, it was Tulane that got the win over North Texas today. Congratulations to the Green Wave. get their dub. James Madison, JMU, makes their claim to that last spot with a 31-14 win over Troy. The rest of the championships are coming up soon, so we will see shortly. And here we go. Louisville's got the ball. 12-point lead. 11:46 to go. Back to that same position we were in the first half, getting this thing under 10. Conwell works on Wilkerson. What a nice battle that's been. Loose ball picked up by DeVries. Here he comes back the other way looking. Gets it over to Wilkerson, who drives. Nothing there. He was going to shoot it. Gets it down to Alexis on the post, who's fronted very well, or defended by Frew very well. Over to Enright. Got to run some offense here. Trent Sisley is on the floor. Let's see if he can make a difference. Gets it to Wilkerson. 3 on the way. Short off the front rim. No good. Conwell with the rebound. This dude is everywhere. Here comes Louisville back the other way. Frew has it on the left wing. Wants to drive on DeVries. Works, backs him down. Has a significant height advantage. Bullying his way in. Loose ball picked up and scores. Stripped away in the paint. Loose ball picked up by number 1 for Louisville. And the lead is back to 14. Trim to 8, back to 14. It's how it's been. Wilkerson's got it out high. Got to look for DeVries. Let it fly, bro. Step back 3. DeVries. No good. In and out. Tipped up. No good. Alexis with the rebound and dunk. Leads back to 12. 10:33 to go. Got to play defense. Get stops. Here comes Brown. Drives. Gets around Enright, and that's a blocking foul. He's going to get to the free throw line, but Mikel Brown has absolutely been punished today. Bro, I miss having Alex in here too. And it's okay, I understand, because she is very quick-witted. And also, can I hate a team, Ohio State, and hope Indiana kicks the prune juice out of them? I appreciate that. It would be huge for that program. That will be the icing on the cake for recruiting. You know, it's all about the Big Ten championship first and foremost. Everything else, if they can win today, anything else is icing on the cake. This isn't about being respected and known as an arrival. Second free throw, oh my God, bounces off the top of the rim. Did they count that? Yeah, they do. Hit off the back of the rim, top of the backboard, and comes back down and scores. Back to a 14-point lead as Brown goes to the bench after finally scoring his first 2 points, 30 minutes into the game. Here comes Enright off the pick. Nothing there. Drives to the rim, puts it up, and there's no foul, no basket. Frew picks it up. Here comes Louisville back the other way, driving up the left. Gets there. Drives the baseline. McNeely looking for somebody. Frew at the top of the key. Flips it inside. They got the match that they want. Down on the post. Drive, working on Sisley. Loses the ball. Picks it back up. No good. Rebound here to Nick Dorn. I really want to see Nick Dorn improve. He's just recently come back from injury. I know it's going to be a slow process to get him up to speed. Wilkerson looking, drives, gets in the lane, flips it out to Dorn, loses it, picks it up, gets it to Sisley, over to Enright. Enright over to Alexis. Alexis back to Sisley. Sisley's got it. Great defense. Wilkerson lets it fly from deep. No good offense, no good shot. Louisville smothering, drives the lane, gets inside, working on Enright. Back for the 3. McNeely lets it go. And another dagger from McNeely. Isaac McNeely has absolutely punished us today as the guy that they didn't necessarily expect to be that guy. But he's always setting up at the right place at the right time for him, ready to shoot. 65-48. This game is almost over. Yeah, I'm going to have to suck it up at work for a little while over this one. Inbound. Here comes Conway. Looks like Indiana's going back to their regular lineup here after a 10-2 run that they could not afford. Bailey gets it over to Conway, drives the baseline, draws a foul. Rogers picks up that foul as Conway just too much. 65-48. And there is the inbound. Gets it to Lamar Wilkerson. Nothing doing there. Drives. Goes off the pick. Nothing. Gets it back to Tucker DeVries. Gets in the lane. Outside to Bailey. And that is short for the 3 ball. Not a good looking shot as he was wide open. Here comes Louisville with the chance to add another dagger yet to the heart of Indiana fans. Frew rolls around. Nothing. Gonna hand it off. McNeely's looking to shoot it, and he is cut off immediately by Wilkerson, and that pass goes out of bounds as Tucker DeVries tries to get there, changes the pass angle, and goes out of bounds. Reed Bailey just does not get that ball to go through, and that's one you have to have. Here we go, crossing the timeline. Conway drives the lane, out of control, picks up his dribble. DeVries from the corner, no good. And out of bounds off of Indiana. And that went, they're giving the ball to Indiana, but I saw it. It was kicked out by Reed Bailey. If we watch, I'm sure we're going to see that right there. If they don't reverse it, Pat Kelsey should challenge this one. Because I saw Reed Bailey kick it out of bounds. Ready? Dink. The only thing down there was Bailey's hand and Bailey's foot. Yo, what up, Steve? Check out Steve. One of my favorite fantasy football internet shows every week. On the Fantasy Forge. NFL fantasy football at its finest. It's a shame I don't get to see it as much as I'd like to. Had a very nice Thanksgiving. Just didn't get to spend it all at once with everybody I wanted to see. The only it's funny. The only person that I didn't get to spend it with at the end was my wife, because she went to my in-laws and I was at work, and then I went to my dad's and she was sick, and then we went to my mom's later on the next week and she was working. Fantasy Football Forge. I knew it was something like that. But yes, it's a good show, especially if you're trying to make decisions on your roster last minute. Check out Steve's show, the Fantasy Football Forge. You're always welcome to link the channel, Steve, as you're allowed. Pick up anybody that wants to go hang out. So far today, Indiana looks eerily like their team of last year. Most of their points are in the paint. Horrible shooting from the three-point line. And losing. Call on that was officially reversed. Didn't need to go to the monitor. I saw it. I'm like, he's like, oh, it was him. Indiana down 17 with 8:17 left to go. Rotating it around, and that's off his knee. That should. Oh! I don't know. He doesn't act like it was. He knocked it out, but man, almost a very nice defensive play by Connerway there. Brown's got it, brings it up, going to get a pick. Connerway gets crossed. He's going to switch it, gets back. Bailey picks up Frew, rotates it to the right, drives on. Nothing. Picked up by Connerway. There's the switch. Working to the right. Gets it out there. Frew has it. Back in on the rim. Looking. Nothing. Drives the lane. Flips it up. There is it stripped out of his hands as Connerway saved a dunk, but he fouled Frew in the process. Duke and Iowa State both putting up very, very big claims for the top spot in the NCAA today as they both won on the road. Free throws up, and it's good. Lead is up to 19. And I see a little bit of quit. No dominant big man. We don't have anybody to help stop momentum by just feeding the post and getting an easy basket. There are no easy baskets today for Indiana. Very aggressive defense by Louisville. That will be their 6th team foul. The only way Indiana's going to win games is if they can shoot 3 balls effectively. But the first thing you got to have when shooting a 3 ball is you got to have dribble penetration inside the arc. Horizontal passes are just not going to cut it. You've got to get the ball inside. There goes Connerway to the rim. Flips it out to Dorn like on clockwork, and he hits it. See, I know what I'm talking about. Connerway gets penetration. Dorn flares out on the wing and gets it from the corner. 51-67. Just show me some improvement. Drives the lane. Nothing. Loses it. Dorn picks it up. Gets it to DeVries. DeVries is on his way back. That's a foul. DeVries is mangled by Pryor as he's coming across the timeline. Lead is 16 with 7 minutes to go. Let's see if Indiana can muster some kind of run. There's no crying in B-ball. First free throw is up and good by Tucker. Lead is back to 15. Back to where this game has stayed since the beginning. Second one is good. Leads at 14. You've got to get a stop and a basket. Wilkerson's learning that playing a high major basketball is tough, but that's a good learning lesson. He's got to learn. Brown works it over to the left. Nothing there. Pryor's got it at the top of the key. Pryor gets it back to Conwell, who drives, gets to the rim. No good, but they're going to give the foul, and I don't see where that came from. It had to have been Enright. Free throws up and good. Ryan Conwell's been the boss today. My player of the game. Don't care what anybody says. He has been that guy. 18 points. Second free throw is ready to go, and it's up and it's good. 19 on the day. Indianapolis Pike graduate, I believe. He is a Hoosier. From that aspect, there goes Conaway to the rim. No good. It should have been a goaltend, I think, but he loses it out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Indiana. All right, Indiana's ball underneath the basket. Bailey has not been effective today. Wilkerson's back to DeVries. DeVries gets inside, steps back, nothing. These Louisville defenders are defending that three-point line above all else. Inside, Tucker to the rim, blocked, out of bounds, back to Indiana. 5 on the shot clock. Clean block by Pryor. Working really hard on the defensive end. Dorn cuts, nothing. Looks like gets it into knocked out of bounds. Pryor has got very nice hands. He extends them long arms, gets them big mitts out there, and makes passing the ball very difficult. 6:22 to left, folks. Here we go. Gets it inbound to Bailey. Bailey drives, gets his pocket picked up on the corner. Dorn fires, hits the three as the shot clock expires. That was pretty emphatic. 13-point lead for Louisville. Oh, he almost traveled. Mikel Brown's got it out high. Nothing doing outside there. And Louisville, Pat Kelsey does not like the way his offense is working with 6 minutes to go. And he's going to burn a timeout here, leaving both him and DeVries with one left. I think Indiana's done a better job of being competitive in the second half. They need to do a better job of starting the game and not letting themselves get this far behind. The opening 16.0 run is the difference in this game. Hopefully that shot fires Nick Dorn up a little bit and gets him more involved. Must have had his foot on the line as they took a point away. Wait. No, I guess not. Anybody that's in the chat, does Ryan Conwell look like an NBA prospect to you? Question 1. Will he be drafted this year? Brown is out high, got Conaway on him, makes a move, explosive, finally gets away from Conaway and gets an easy basket. His 4th point of the day. Leads back to 15. Conaway drives, flips it out to Dorn. Dorn thinks about letting it go and doesn't. Dorn's got it out high, 15 on the shot clock. Looking it over, gets it to DeVries. DeVries gets it stolen from him. And there it comes back. Here comes the loose ball. Louisville's getting ready to pick up the heat. Drives the lane, puts it up and in. 73-56, Louisville. I'm surprised my phone isn't dinging already. Conaway crosses the timeline. Let's get some dribble penetration and some flare outs for some threes. Let's finish the game that way. Inside. What a bad pass. The rails are come off. Indiana's just not doing anything now. This is going to blow open to 30 if they don't watch it. Back to a 19-point lead. College basketball is a game of runs, and these guys today are just running away with it. Louisville showing why they belong in the top 20. Indiana showing why they do not. Getting ready to preview for tonight. Fernando Mendoza, Heisman favorite against Julian Sayin. What do you guys think of the quarterback matchup? Redshirt freshman versus junior. You think that's an advantage IU or advantage Ohio State? Not to mention, there's no help defense. So that tells me that nobody's actually watching the ball in that motion when Brown got around Connerway, because there was nobody there to cut the ball off from the rim. There was no weak side help, strong side help. There was none whatsoever. $75-56. 4:49 left to go. Too many turnovers, looking like a McDonald's drive-thru. Actually, Indiana's only got 11 turnovers in this game. Not too horrible, but they're not stopping Louisville enough on defense. Here it goes. Here goes Dorn, hands it off to Bailey. Indiana's trying to moving the ball. They've got to do something different. DeVries from top of the key. No good. Bailey with the follow and one as he is fouled. Cuts the lead down to 16 again. Back to that magic number of that run that started the game, 16-0. Louisville just burning clock. And they call Wilkerson for a foul, fighting through a pick. Inbound, gets it in. Looking, driving on Tucker. Nothing there. Gives it to Conwell back and lays it up and in. 77-59, 4:04 to go. Here comes Enright up the left side looking. Has nothing to gain right there. Here comes to start the offense. Pick comes, nothing. There goes the next step. Goes through, drives to the lane. Gets it over to DeVries for three from the corner. Finally hits it. Inside out is the only way you're going to make threes against this Louisville team today. The way they are defending the perimeter. You've got to slip the defense, and they have to help, and you've got to get an advantage. As Enright gets inside, that is where the advantage comes today. Which means you've got to have more athletic, dynamic, go-to-the-rim play from your point guard. Dribble penetration is a must to hit this kind of threes against Louisville. Don't think there is any more scoreboard items to talk about, as the SEC championship is underway today. Georgia versus Alabama. I guess it would make things interesting if Alabama could win that game. After that one, that leaves the Duke, Virginia, Indiana, Ohio State games as the two major conferences left to play their championship football today, as we're going to be in here tonight, fired up and ready for our Hoosiers. Trying to make a little bit of Hoosier history today. A Big Ten championship in this format would be a huge stepping stone for Indiana. Ryan Day and the Buckeyes want to keep them down as we're already fighting for recruits. It's a great point to make when you are in recruiting, that you're beating the guy's ass that you're competing against for recruiting. It's a very winnable argument when you're sitting at the table negotiating. Hey, your NIL deal is this. Oh, and by the way, we kicked the snot out of Indiana last year. That's what we've got to stop. We've got to win one. After that, the college football playoff is icing on the cake. A Big Ten championship is the goal, for me anyway. I want the other two, but this is what I want the most. This AI viewpoint thing is driving me crazy. Pretty cool, though. There's the thing. Louisville, 14 assists on 24 made field goals. Wilkerson gets the knock away. Wilkerson's got really good hands, too. And you know what? He is kind of limping around today. I wonder if he's just not beat up from the last couple games. All right, they get it into Brown. Brown's got Enright. 77-62, 3:36 to go. Brown spins around, takes it back out near midcourt, and hopes to dribble it out. Gets it off to McNeely. McNeely's got Dorn on him. Drives left, looking nothing. Working it. Deep three by Brown. No good. Rebound Dorn. Gets it out to DeVries. Here comes Indiana. Look, they're playing for pride now with the final 3 minutes to go here in the half. DeVries is going to be fouled. Throws it up. No good. We'll be back at the free throw line. Wow, warmer in BC than Indiana. It's been cold. I'm not been a happy camper. Good to see you, JB. I got the horizontal too. You can flip over to whichever one you're most comfortable with. Both free throws are good. Lead is once again back to 13 as Indiana has got it down to 8 several times, but 13 is the number. Louisville's going to burn clock. 3 minutes to go. Step back three for McNeely. No good off the front rim. There's a rebound for Enright. Coming back the other way. He's going to push. Gets it, drops it off for DeVries. DeVries gets inside the lane. Nothing. Fires it cross court in the corner. Dorn. No good. Dorn, at least he's not short arming it. He makes it, hits the backside of the rim, goes long. Here comes Ohio. I got Ohio State on the brain. Here comes Louisville, and Wilkerson's going to get the pick for get the foul for reaching in. It seems like all the delays are getting longer and longer as we go here. Trying to get everybody lined up. Javon Hadley is a 42% free throw shooter, but got 13 points on the game, and he is at the line for the first time today. Let's see if 42% can bury a couple here and make us look worse. Free throws up, and it is good. Pure as can be. Next on CBS, Baylor at Memphis. No real interest in that at this point. For me, anyway. Second free throws up, and it's pure as well. $15-point lead, 2:20 to go. Enright gets it to Bailey. Bailey's got it. Flips it to Enright inside. Flips it in the corner. Dorn. There's Nick Dorn finally lighting up on the three balls. That's a good sign for Hoosiers going forward. Nick Dorn's shooting is starting to come back. I think he's 3 for 5 behind the arc today. 12-point lead for Louisville. 1:54 to go. Conwell, short, air ball, no good. Trying to draw a foul on that three ball, nothing doing. Indiana Hoosiers play Penn State Tuesday. Should be a tough game. And then they go to Kentucky on Saturday, who just got embarrassed by Gonzaga. DeVries has got it on the post, and they're still reaching in on him. They're finally just now calling it. Frew gets called for the foul. DeVries will go back to the free throw line. And I know it's too little too late, but cutting it down to 10 is still a milestone. Getting this lead down, it's never been really this close. 1:30 to go. Indiana's looking to get a turnover here. Lead is down to 10. Trap. Gets over Conwell. Conwell's going to bring it across the line. Drives on the right side, looking nothing. Double team there, flips it out, nothing to Brown. Corner, McNeely lets it rip. Money. 82-69. McNeely buries another one. Dorn lets another one go, and he hits it. Nick Dorn's a little hot. 72-82. Making this game look closer than it needs to. 52 seconds to go. Brown's going to drive it across the timeline, and DeVries is going to foul him and put him at the free throw line. Nick Dorn looks a lot better today. He looks like he's starting to come around from the injury. Hopefully he is a possible starter for Indiana later on down the line. Free throws up, and it's good. 11-point lead, 48 seconds. Be glad to see this one in today. Not glad for my Hoosiers, but just glad for my mentality. Second free throw is up. There's a lane violation. Frew gets in the lane early. His motion, Brown's motion, tricked even his own guy. All right, 11-point lead. Indiana's looking for another triple here really quick. Enright drives, gets in the lane, flips it out to Bailey. Bailey charges, blocked. He'll go back to the free throw line. Minus the first 4 minutes of this game, it's been super competitive. Free throws up, good. Bailey loses it, gets the rebound back over. Dorn lets another one fly, and he hit it. Nick Dorn with his 5th three-pointer cuts the lead to 7 with 33 seconds to go. And now it gets a little bit interesting as Enright is called for the foul on the inbound. Here is the one thing that we discussed that DeVries made sure he did was build a team that could shoot the three ball. And you're never out of a game when you can shoot the three ball. Although this game is seemingly over, if he hits 1 or 2 here and Indiana scores a quick basket, we're going to get this thing down in that range of where we thought it could have been. First one's good, 33.7. Second one's also good, 85-76. Here comes Conway up the other way. Looking, hands it off to Dorn. Dorn drives left, hands it off to DeVries. DeVries drives, goes all the way to the rim, lays it in. 24 seconds to go. Indiana looking for a quick turnover and basket. Looking for a turnover. Conway fouls immediately. Let's give Indiana a little bit of credit here for not quitting today. There was a point in this game when it was up around 18 points that I thought they were completely done and out of it. Free throws up and good. Extends that lead back to 8. Second one's good. Leads back to 9. Conway is going to bring it across the timeline, looking to drive. 18 seconds to go. All the way inside. Nothing there. Looking. Nothing. Gets it out. Stolen away. Ball is picked up by Louisville, and that will do it. 7 seconds on the clock. This will be your final score today. Louisville Cardinals, number 6 in the nation, come to Indianapolis on a neutral court and get the 87-78 win over the Indiana Hoosiers by just out-muscling these guys over the course of this whole game. Indiana made a valiant effort after starting down 16-0, but Louisville, every time Indiana made a run, Louisville did something to keep them at bay, whether it was a clutch three-point shot from McNeely, free throws from Conwell, or a game-changing play by Conwell, or work on the inside. What an awesome performance today by these Cardinals. And Indiana goes down to defeat. Tuesday night, Indiana will be back against Penn State in action. May or may not be here. We'll see. Also, today at 8 o'clock tonight, the Big Ten Championship for football will be on, and we will be here. Hope to have some support for that. Much love to you guys, and I will see you guys tonight. Peace out, Boy Scouts. Thanks for hanging with me. Much appreciated, and much love.